I tell you what, nothing feels better than missing a move in Pokemon. When I missed that Fire Fang for the 5th time, somehow, mysteriously, I think, yes, this is the game that I've tied my livelihood to. For some reason, I keep coming back, like an ice cream enjoyer that enjoys ice cream, except there's mouse traps in the ice cream, and they're also electrified and on fire at the same time. Today, we're going to learn all about the most hated mechanic in Pokemon and why nobody uses it.
There's a number of mechanics in Pokemon that can lead to someone making the first healthy decision of their life, snapping the Nintendo Switch in half and giving up on competitive Pokemon altogether. But
wow, that is a really good snap as well. I mean, just take a look at that snap. Wow, that is a clean snap. I mean, you don't get that kind of snap without at least a few years of practice. That is a very good snap. You just see the cracking down the middle, the tempered glass shattering ever so slightly, the follicles of shattering coming out from the middle. That is a really good snap.
Nintendo Switch in half and giving up on competitive Pokemon altogether. But the one that has been there since the very beginning has been evasion, the only mechanic that lets you hypothetically take no damage for the remainder of a match. Now, this isn't going to be a
true in theory if you're a gambler, but the gamblers never win. People say Pokemon is a game all about RNG, except the top people are very regularly at the top. The winners are very usually winning. It's not all sleep and evasion.
Video on accuracy, though we will obviously have to touch on accuracy to explain evasion, but evasion is a very tricky subject in Pokemon.
I mean, I can technically just click minimize once and then win world championships. That could happen. No, it couldn't. It could happen to someone else, but no, I've never won. I've gambled so many times, like actual real gambling. Don't do it. I've never won. Never once won. I've lost everything every single time. Not that much. I don't gamble much, thankfully. I'm not a degenerate. Come on now. I don't lose that much. I mean, I only had to remortgage my house.
There are some people who believe that evasion boosting moves should be outright banned due to the very nature of them discouraging skill-based gameplay
and they are in Smogon, although Smogon is the unofficial singles
favor
format.
Just rolling the dice. Yet, despite evasion being so strong and not being banned in official tournaments, the mechanic isn't terribly popular. Today we'll explain what evasion is, how it works, and why the best players tend to avoid using it. If you enjoy
I know why, because if you were to use by using evasion moves, then you would be ostracized. You'd be outcast. I mean, I know that timer stalling is a thing, but evasion truly is the bottom of the barrel. If you start clicking minimize, if you start using double team in a competitive format, since it's an in-person event, you might just get punched in the face. And honestly, listen, you might be able to dodge it in the game, but a fist coming at you pretty fast from across the table is a lot harder to dodge than your Chansy dodging a focus blast.
Enjoyed this video and gameplay in time, be sure to leave a like and subscribe because I make tons of competitive Pokemon content.
Already
As a matter
did,
of fact, you should subscribe right now because I have a playlist full of content just like this that I know you'll enjoy once this video ends.
Hey, you should. Why you're not subscribed? Come on, get that subscription in. Get that subscription. Come on, go on, do it. It's a link in the description. Go on.
And if you think you're subscribed, do me a favor and double check because like only half of my viewers actually
subscribed.
are. Okay, let's get into it. Webster's Dictionary defines evasion as a really dumb way to win games of Pokemon.
It is crazy that they did that, by the way. I think that's a more recent addition.
And while I think that's a pretty reductive way of looking at it, I can't really argue with the professionals. To explain evasion in Pokemon, I have to explain the very fundamentals of the game, so bear with me here. In Pokemon, each turn you select a move. I know, right? Isn't this groundbreaking? That move will either damage your opponent, raise the user's stats, lower the target's stats, inflict a status condition, or cause a field effect.
Or do absolutely nothing, like Splash, or me using Focus Blast.
Typically speaking, stronger moves in Pokemon will have slightly lower accuracy to offset their inherent power, while lower power moves will have perfect accuracy. Take for example,
unless you use Earthquake, that just hits everything and is really strong.
Example, the move Head Smash. This rock-type move is a whopping 150 base power. The move coming off of a usable 115 attack stat like that of Hisuian Arcanine can result in massive damage if not straight up one-shotting the opponent. It's for this reason that the move has only 80 accuracy, meaning about 1 in 5 head smashes will not connect with the opponent. You can also take for example Oko moves, which will always have 30 accuracy at level 50, meaning that while they will result in just a straight up KO, most people tend to avoid them since most of the time you're not going to get anything out of them.
And the accuracy, I believe, can't be raised on these moves either to prevent people going hog wild with a little bit of accuracy boost and maybe a little Hone Claws, although Hone Claws would be a little bit redundant because it raises attack, and it's not like you need attack with a one-hit KO move, do you?
Though you could hypothetically roll the dice and win instantly. In a game like Pokemon, missing a single move can result in a snowball effect leading to a game loss. Trust me, walk into any tournament venue and ask people how their last match was. You'll be met with an explanation of how they would have won if they only landed that Heat Wave, Rock Slide, or Hydro Pump. While
it's the equivalent of saying that your Overwatch elo would be higher if your team didn't suck all the time, because you always get bad teams and they're not very good at the game. Except instead of it humans being the team, it's just your Pokemon missing moves.
Missing moves can be annoying. If it weren't for accuracy, there'd be no point in having moves like Thunderbolt exist when Thunder is just the better option. Accuracy makes it so even before the battle begins, players have to make individual value judgments on if they'd rather have the big funny button that annihilates everything sometimes, or the move that deals a reasonable amount of damage 100% of the time. Or hey, if you want both, you can run both at the expense of having coverage options. I mean, Articuno did just win a tournament with only ice moves, but if
it just spams Blizzard. Does the Articuno ever click Sheer Cold? I have to say, seeing a moveset with choice specs and Sheer Cold on the same moveset is very funny though.
Evasion takes the game balance mechanic of accuracy and throws it right out the window. Evasion boosting moves, abilities, and items cause moves that would hit 100% of the time to start to have a chance to miss. In an ideal situation, the best item in the game is technically the Bright Powder.
Oh god, it's so gross. 10%? I thought it was like 5. Oh, this is disgusting. Why did they make this? Game Freak, what were you doing when you thought of this? What was on the agenda? Do we just want to cause pain? Are we just trying to reap havoc? Is that what we're doing? I bet the developers of Game Freak were like, oh yeah, this is so awesome when they were sewing and creating the Bright Powder. Then they play the video game. Someone uses Bright Powder against them, like, oh no, this sucks. I hate this. Now they're reaping. When they're reaping, they don't like it. But when they're sewing, oh, this is the best. I love sewing. Oh my god. Reaping? No, what? I don't want to reap. What the heck? No, I'm missing all my moves.
Item causes all moves targeted at the holder to have a 0.9 times multiplier on their accuracy, making it so 100% accurate moves now have 90 accuracy, and higher power, lower accuracy moves like Hydro Pump will only have 72 accuracy. If the luckiest player on Earth ran this item on their Pokemon, they could hypothetically avoid every single attack coming at them. Yet, the Bright Powder sees nearly no usage in competitive Pokemon. Why is this?
Because there's usually something better to run. You know, you want to run your clear amulets to make sure that you don't lose your attack. Also, people don't want to roll the dice. People want surefire options that are consistent and will get them to the victory point. They don't want to roll the dice. No one ever won because of luck. Oh, well, that's not true. That's definitely not true. That's the biggest lie I've ever told, I think, actually.
Yes, this Pokemon could hypothetically allow your Pokemon to avoid a lethal Wicked Blow, but 9 times out of 10, your Pokemon is basically not holding an item. They'd almost always prefer to have leftovers, Citrus Berry, Life Orb, or anything that actually has a guaranteed return for the user. This isn't to say that Bright Powder has no use in competitive Pokemon. There are actually a number of Pokemon which have historically run the item as one of their better options.
Oh, I see. You run Bright Powder alongside some kind of evasion boosting thing so that it'll give you even more evasion boosting. You get like a 20% evasion boost. Oh, that's disgusting. That's gross. Oh, I don't like that.
Take, for example, VGC 2023 Articuno.
Snowcloak.
Articuno has the ability of Snowcloak, which passively causes all moves targeted against it to have 80% of their usual accuracy if Snow is active.
80%? Oh my god, so you can bring it up to 70?
Combining this...
Well, actually, wait. Oh, hold on. Before he explains it, I'm just going to guess that the way that it works is it would bring it down to 10% of the 80. So it goes to 72, not 70, right?
The Bright Powder means that 100% accurate moves will now only have 72 accuracy.
Okay.
Obviously, dodging more than 1 in 4 moves and removing that damage entirely is a really powerful strategy. This combination was also achievable by Pokemon like Sandvale Garchomp in Sandstorm.
Oh my god, Articuno is such a little RNG abuser. Seriously, Snowcloak plus Blizzard hit both opponents on the other side of the field with the 10% freeze chance on both of those, with the crit chance on both of those too, with a 72% chance to land any regular move on Articuno. That's disgusting. You disgust me, Articuno. How dare you exist? Go back to your stupid Frosty Mountain. Okay, no one wants to see you. In fact, not many people can see you because they're missing moves all the time.
With their respective weathers active, Articuno and Garchomp could throw out powerful blizzards or earthquakes with occasional impunity. However, the reason that these strategies saw heavy usage in previous VGC formats is because the strategy required nearly no setup beyond having a Pokemon on the field with Snow Warning or Sandstream. By having this
And having the snow on the field means that you can set up Aurora Veil, so even if you do land a hit on those rare recursions, because 72% accuracy is basically like, roll the dice. Sure, yeah. Oh, sorry. You flip a coin. Oh, it didn't land on its side? You miss. Yeah, you thought I was going to say heads or tails, right? No. Has to land on its side.
Evasion increase occur passively, players didn't need to take multiple turns to set up weather or moves like Double Team to start to see any value out of the Pokemon. They could immediately start tossing out those powerful attacks. This is by far the most common way to run evasion in competitive Pokemon, but just because some players would rather not take any time to set up, doesn't mean that there weren't entire teams dedicated to this strategy. In previous years of VGC, Chansy was actually the face of evasion teams.
I'm seeing a lot of Splatoon music in this, which is cool because Splatoon has that vibe. Splatoon just hits a certain type of vibe that just feels good on the brains.
Chansy's massive HP and already high special defense stat were further boosted by it being able to hold the Eviolite item. This item would passively increase the defense and special defense stats of not fully evolved Pokemon by 50%, meaning that Chansey was nearly unkillable by special moves and would be pretty bulky on the physical side of things if fully invested in HP and defense. While Chansey would be able to function on its own, it didn't do nearly enough for a team if the team wasn't built around it specifically.
Oh, so what, you run minimize on it too? So even if you do land it, so you just don't land hits. You just don't land hits.
This is mainly due to its abysmal attack stat, making it a pure stall Pokemon. Chansey teams would actually pair their Chansey with Shuckle, a Pokemon with massive defenses, albeit a very low HP stat. By using Guard Split from Shuckle onto Chansey and Shuckle would average out their defense stats, causing Chansey to have its already okay defense stat boosted by Eviolite to become even more ridiculous.
Oh no! And it gets minimized on top of that too?
This newfound
and soft boiled? Well, you'd never finish a game. You just go with time every single time.
Chansey would begin to click minimize, making it nearly unhittable after just a couple of turns of setup, at which point it would win the game by a combination of toxic stalling and clicking seismic toss to deal a consistent 50 HP worth of damage every turn. While
to jail. No, jail. If you do this, go jail. Go jail, go to prison. We should make a law. Someone needs to pass a law about this. You should go to prison for 5 years, 10 years actually.
This team was very frustrating to unprepared players. It was actually highly exploitable if the opponent knew what they were doing. You see, the major weakness of this team lies entirely with how long it takes to set up Chansey. We're talking multiple turns of clicking minimize, guard split, and toxic, during which the person playing against the team has all the time in the world to click moves like taunt, roar, or just straight up nuke one of the essential Pokemon in the turns of setup. The team
shoot her with a gun. Shoot with a shotgun, so it has spread, so there's more chance of it landing.
Even had a hard auto loss in the Patterrz song if they didn't tech something ridiculous like skill swap soundproof Mr. Mime. It's here that we see the biggest weakness of evasion strategies and why most players tend to avoid them. In the time it takes to set up evasion, more proactive plays could have been made. Yes, on the right teams, you're setting up a near 100% win condition. But in the turns you spent rolling the dice and having the opponent miss their moves, you could have just as easily clicked Rain Dance and Surging Strikes to pick up a KO against one of the essential Pokemon.
Yeah, no, it makes sense why no one would want to run it then. Also, it was pretty hard to have the desire to run an evasion team after the event of 2009, where a Pokemon player was tragically found with no arms, no legs, no ears, no nose, no teeth, and no hair after running an evasion team and frustrating their opponents. It was deemed like totally chill to do that though, because it was like actually really annoying. So no one was charged for it. In fact, everyone applauded the person, whoever it was.
We see a very similar weakness in the modern iteration of this type of team. Currently, the most popular evasion strategy requires the player to run two very low tier Pokemon in Alolan Muck and Flamigo. The setup begins
Alolan Muck is so cool though. I love its design. It's so sick.
With the player leading off with Alolan Muck with the ability Power of Alchemy. Power of Alchemy causes the user to take the ability of whatever partner Pokemon faints while it's on the field. The other lead Pokemon is a Focus Sash Smeargle with Fake Out, Spore, Follow Me, and Spiky Shield. On turn 1, Smeargle can guarantee Muck gets a minimize off by clicking Fake Out into the opponent. On the next turn, Muck will likely get a second minimize off since Smeargle will redirect all attacks into it with Follow Me. With Muck at +4 evasion, it's already nearly unkillable. But with Smeargle going down, Muck can now steal its ability in Moody.
No, don't do it!
Moody causes the user to gain +2 into a random
gross.
stat and -1 into another one at the end of each turn.
And I bet it has Protect too. Oh my god, it has minimized Toxic, Protect, and Knockoff. And it has Leftovers. This is disgusting. And now it has Moody. Ugh, I'm gonna throw up.
This causes Muck to have its stats randomly boosted until you're likely facing down a Pokemon with maxed out evasion and insanely high defenses. This is slightly more reliable than the Chansey strategy since Muck has actually usable offensive stats and good moves like Knockoff and Poison Jab, along with passive recovery and Leftovers since it doesn't have to hold the Eviolite. But
I guess, does it run Black Sludge? Would it be preferable to run Black Sludge? Oh no, because when you Terrasilize, you don't want to be running Black Sludge when you Terrasilize, of course. Shady did that in one of the videos that we did together. He had a Swallow that ran Black Sludge. He Terrasilized into like Fire or Fairy, and then it killed itself.
Beyond that, once the Muck is fully set up, a partner Flamigo can hit the field and copy all of Muck's boosts to sweep.
All of them? Oh, I forgot that's what it does. Oh, that's gross. Wait, that's so sick. I want to see that in action just once. Just one time. Someone has to be the sacrifice. Who's it going to be?
The opposing team due to its ability Co-Star. Surely this more proactive version of an evasion team can do well in tournaments, right? Well, once again, an experienced player can see this coming from miles away.
It really just takes a taunt, doesn't it? This is why taunts, raw, they're also common. The phasing moves, Dragon Tail as well, would actually work pretty well. Unless you Terra Fairy would cancel out Dragon Tail. That is true. But taunt really just shuts the whole thing down. And then if you're taunted, you don't really have much left.
And what's worse is that the tools used to beat evasion strategies in previous gens are becoming more and more common in modern generations on well-made teams. Take, for example, Patterrz, a move which causes all Pokemon to faint after a set number of turns if they don't leave the field. While
Patterrz is a fun move, though. I mean, some people might say it's a little cringe. I think it's fun. I think it's fun to watch. I think it's fun to see work. It's just really interesting. The idea of a timer is very cool.
Previously, Patterrz was a rare move teched onto very particular Pokemon or was used on dedicated Patterrz trap teams. Nowadays, it's more common than ever as just a fourth move on Pokemon like Fluttermane. Since this move can improve teams' matchups into Dondozo or Iron Defense Body Press Pokemon like Registeel or Komodo. Sacred Sword is yet another.
Or even Zamazenta now, huh? Right? Because Zamazenta's big. I'm learning, right? So it's a big Pokemon now. Well, it's always been a big Pokemon. It's a massive wolf, obviously, but it's bigger now. It has body press.
Another move which absolutely stuffs this strategy. It's a 90 base power fighting type move which ignores all the opponent's stat boosts. While it was previously a move with extremely niche distribution being on just a few Pokemon, more Pokemon than ever have it at their disposal as just a reliable fighting type move that they might choose over close combat.
Okay, I mean, yeah, 90 base power is pretty good. Also, I didn't realize or didn't take into consideration that Sacred Swords ignoring stat changes would actually ignore the boosts as well as the defense buffs, say.
Most notable among these Pokemon.
The evasion boosts. I realized I didn't say that. Sorry, sometimes I forget words. Do you ever do that? Do you just forget words? Sometimes I forget words, but I never forget that you can get a discount on gamer subs using code Patterrz. Sorry, I just had to slip that one in there.
Pokemon is Chien-Pao, a powerful and common option for balance and hyper offense teams alike, meaning that even if the player wasn't expecting to face a Muck evasion stall, all they really need to do is hold onto their Chien-Pao long enough to KO the Muck despite its defense increases and evasion. And while Gallade and Iron Boulder aren't nearly as common as Chien-Pao,
I guess Muck is still relatively bulky though, and it's not super effective, and it's fighting type, which Chien-Pao is ice and dark, so it wouldn't be stab either. You'd have the defense drop from Chien-Pao's ability, but I don't know, would it be a two-shot with leftovers as well? So you have a Muck with like an attack boost. I suppose knockoff can still do a lot even though Chien-Pao resists it. I don't know. It's kind of up in the air.
How is they too have access to this move and can effectively counter Muck all on their own. There are even more moves which are specifically made to counter Minimize, which can completely make this strategy pointless. A lot of people don't know this because it's rarely useful information, but Heavy Slam, Heat Crash, and Dragon Rush will all never miss and deal double damage to a Pokemon which has used Minimize.
Oh, let's go. Wait, Dragon Rush? Seriously? Okay, I did not know about that. I think I know about Heat Crash and Heavy Slam. Dragon Rush is a weird one, though, because it doesn't really imply, like, squishing something. More like implies the dragon is just going really fast.
Crash is one of the most common moves on Gouging Fire, which has had a phenomenal season in 2024. And Heavy Slam is teched onto just about every team that wants to one-shot the likes of Fluttermane and other very light Steel-weak Pokemon. So there's a lot of situations where all you really need to do is endgame Muck with any one of these options. But above all else, the one thing that makes evasion such a noob trap is the move Taunt. This single move could possibly be the best move in the game, right behind Protect. Taunt simply prevents the target from being able to click non-damaging moves for a few turns. The move is essential on some teams for making deep tournament runs. Taunt.
And so many teams just run it because it's good in general. It's like the mystical space typhoon. It's like the pot of greed of Pokemon moves. Well, no, Protect is like the pot of greed. It's like the graceful charity of Pokemon moves. This is Yu-Gi-Oh reference. If no one, it's like the AK-47 of Pokemon moves. It's like the LeBron of Pokemon moves. I don't know. Is that I think it's basketball. It's like the NFL of Pokemon moves.
Can shut down Trick Room, prevent Tailwind, and most relevant to this conversation, completely shut down evasion setups. This move is one of the most widely distributed moves in the game, meaning it's extremely easy to slot onto just about any team. If you
get taunted, boom, done. Wait, can Taunt miss though? If Taunt can miss, hey, we may still have a shot, boys.
If you were to build a team with Chien-Pao, Urshifu, Tornadus, Heatran, Fluttermane, and Rillaboom,
Jesus Christ, what a squad. God, they're stanced up there. That is the team.
A team which you could reasonably expect to see at the top tables of a tournament in 2023.
I mean, Tornadus definitely would run Taunt. I mean, it's 100%. And then something else might run Taunt as well. Fluttermane, does that get Taunt? I really don't know. But Tornadus definitely gets Taunt.
Do you know which one of the Pokemon could possibly run Taunt on it?
Wait, is it? No. Is he gonna say all of them? Is he gonna say all of them? It's either Tornadus or it's all of them. That's my guess.
I'll give you a second to guess. Do you have your...
Okay. Is it all of them? No, it's Tornadus. Because it's Prankster, right? Because Prankster Tailwind. Or is it all of them? Does Flurry run Taunt? Does Urshifu run Taunt? I'm gonna say all of them.
Okay, because it's all of them. Literally
Yes!
every single
Woo!
Pokemon on this team can and has run Taunt as a fourth move to shut down setup. You
God,
can
I'm so
imagine
hyped.
a move as
Yes.
ubiquitous as Taunt would put a damper on any hard setup evasion strategies. But do you know what's an even bigger damper on it? It's the fact that at any point, your setup evasion Pokemon that you spent the majority of the match setting up could just get hit anyways or crit and knocked out, automatically losing the match and ending your tournament run.
Yeah, problem with this muck setup is even though you can fake out Telmo the Smeargle, I mean, the other Pokemon can still attack. It doesn't fake out both of them. So you can just attack the first turn and it'll get hits. Maybe it'll get one shot. Maybe it'll get put to sleep. And then the whole idea has just gone down the drain.
Yeah, the odds are technically in your favor, so you could just win anyways, but all these factors stopping the evasion from ever getting set up, along with the chance of you just losing anyways, is the reason you don't tend to see evasion strategies making deep runs at major tournaments. But it's still very fun, so, keep spamming it on ladder. But that's why evasion is...
God, it's so annoying though. If I ran into this kind of thing online, I'd say all sorts of obscenities. I'd be doing atrocities online.
Pokemon. Do you disagree with me? If you do, you're wrong, but feel free to let me know in the comment section down below. And hey, while you're down there, let me know what topic you'd like me to cover next. If you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It'd mean the world to me. And if you want to support me even further, you can check out my Patreon page or become a YouTube channel member by clicking the join button below the video. This gets you sneak peeks at future videos as well as some bonus content. You'll also see your name at the end of my video. Also,
you should definitely subscribe to Moxie's second channel where he's doing a lot of battles and getting better at competitive. So that's a 100% an option. Did you know 90% of Bright Powder users quit before they hit it big? Pokemon players don't care about evasion until time to evade their taxes. That's pretty good. Okay, we got some funny comments. Why can't you guys be funny like that? Actually, you guys are funny like that sometimes, to be fair. Evasion sucks for players, but it's mainly only overpowered and toxic when an NPC uses. Like a Battle Tower NPC doesn't care about winning 100 times. They just need to win once. That's true. Very, very true. Body Slam also ignores Minimize. Damn, okay. Well, I had a lot of fun today learning about evasion. You should definitely subscribe to Moxie. The link will be in the description, of course, as usual. And if you want to see more of my dumb face, then you can always subscribe here as well.